A saturated Miami sunrise finds the girls lingering over coffee when a telegram from St. Olaf arrives. Rose's cousin, Sven Lindstrom, is stopping in Florida on his way to meet the fiancé chosen for him by his farm-owning parents. Rose gushes that little Sven once got lost in a revolving door and hasn't traveled alone since kindergarten. Dorothy imagines a bashful teenager. Blanche imagines an eligible Viking. Sophia ignores the chatter, intent on renewing her expired driver's license. An endeavor Dorothy privately ranks just above juggling chainsaws. That afternoon, the doorbell rings and a 6'3" blonde with shoulders wider than the fridge strides in, gifting Rose a wheel of lingonberry cheese and greeting Blanche with a bow straight out of The Bachelor Nordic Edition. Blanche's flirt radar pings so loud the smoke alarm hiccups. Rose, thrilled yet flustered, installs Sven in the guest room and warns him that Miami customs prohibit milking iguanas. Sophia slips outside to check fluid levels on the Plymouth, muttering that a license examiner won't know what hit him. During lunch, Sven mistakes the dishwasher for an aquarium, compliments Dorothy's handsome mustache, and politely asks Blanche if the ocean is shut off at night. His wide-eyed innocence melts Blanche's resolve until she receives a phone call from her current squeeze, Floyd McCallum, a banker rumored to be juggling more dates than accounts. Furious, Blanche hatches a plan. Bring Sven to the Rusty Anchor that evening, drape herself across his biceps, and watch Floyd turn greener than the bar's lime wedges. Dorothy brands the idea manipulative. Rose brandishes a St. Olaf proverb about borrowed hearts splitting seams, which no one understands. Meanwhile, Dorothy begins Sophia's refresher driving lesson. It ends 6 blocks later when Sophia mistakes the accelerator for the clutch and parallel parks on top of a decorative fountain. Water shoots skyward like Las Vegas jets. Sophia blames slippery orthotic soles. Dorothy vows never to share a moving vehicle with her mother again. The DMV appointment is tomorrow. Sophia shrugs. I'll take the bus, scare those people instead. Night at the Rusty Anchor sizzles. Blanche arrives in a scarlet cocktail dress. Sven follows in a St. Olaf tuxedo, brown corduroy and bolo tie, which Blanche rebrands as Eurocouture lumberjack. Floyd strolls in, spots Blanche stroking Sven's deltoid, and nearly chokes on his pretzel. Blanche feigns swoon-level adoration, while Sven, misreading the performance, singles out Floyd as kindly chaperone and thanks him for approving of their courtship. Rose, mortified by the snowballing lie, tries to pull Blanche aside but slips on peanut shells, crashing into a darts match. Back at home, Sophia sharpens her peripheral vision by clicking through late-night game shows while wearing blackout sunglasses, her logic being that if she can guess prizes blind, she can drive by feel. Dorothy suggests the only license Sophia should renew is for remote control possession. Sophia counters that DOT stands for Dorothy Oughta Trust Me. The next morning, Floyd arrives unannounced with a dozen apology roses and a jealous scowl. Blanche, cornered, magnifies the charade, declaring she and Sven are practically promised. Sven's face erupts in delighted confusion. He produces a cowbell heirloom and asks Blanche to ring it at their wedding. Rose's conscience finally detonates. She drags Blanche to the kitchen, citing Sven's arranged marriage and imminent heartbreak. Blanche confesses the ruse, but insists she'll let him down gently once Floyd is groveling. Elsewhere, Sophia's DMV test spirals when she mistakes the examiner's clipboard for a menu and orders linguine. Asked to demonstrate a 3-point turn, she launches into a story about bootlegging olive oil in Sicily, floors the accelerator, and stops only when the examiner screams in Spanish. Test terminated, license revoked, Sophia grounded. Though she swears grounded is just FAA jargon and doesn't apply to Sicilians. Floyd invites Blanche to a fancy lunch to talk future. Blanche decides to come clean about everything. At the restaurant, Sven unexpectedly appears. Rose, feeling guilty, summoned him to explain the misunderstanding. In front of Floyd and half of Miami's banking elite, Sven drops to one knee and proposes to Blanche in Swedish, presenting the cowbell ring. Blanche, redder than her lipstick, confesses the truth. She loves attention, not Sven, and used him to make Floyd jealous. Sven's heartbreak registers slowly, like a glacier calving. Floyd, appalled by Blanche's manipulation, storms out for good. Blanche returns home devastated by her own vanity. Rose consoles her, noting that intentions can curdle faster than St. Olaf dairy. Sven packs to leave for his arranged wedding, still clutching the cowbell. Blanche apologizes sincerely, urging him to marry his fiancée with a heart unburdened by Miami melodrama. Sven smiles, forgives her, and calls Blanche a lesson I'll tell grandchildren after I translate it into common sense. Evening brings catharsis via cheesecake. Blanche admits losing Floyd was no tragedy compared to hurting Sven. Dorothy reveals she booked Sophia into a defensive driving course taught in a parking lot surrounded by tires, like bumper bowling for Buicks. Sophia retaliates by gifting Dorothy a silver whistle. Blow it whenever you need to tell me I told you so. Rose announces Sven's wedding went ahead. He sent a photo beside his beaming bride and insists Blanche keep the cowbell as a reminder that love isn't a weapon. Blanche hangs it above the mantel, tone mellow, lesson learned. They toast with lingonberry spritzers. Blanche muses that jealousy is an ugly color. Dorothy retorts that at least it's not neon corduroy, and Sophie declares she'll drive again once cars come with airbags the size of Cleveland. Laughter ripples through the bungalow as the bell gives a soft accidental clang, sealing the episode's moral. Honesty rings truer than any scheme, no translation required.